Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the channel. I am aTone. This is aTone Tarot. You are tuned in for December 25, all signs energy check-in. And without further ado, we're going to get up into your message. We just going to do a 10-card spread. I'm going to try to get a Celtic cross in this view. It's a very small space, but I'm going to try to get all of it in there. And if not, I'm going to do my 10-card thing. You know what I mean? So, without further ado, we are going forward from Aries to Pisces. Because last month in November, I went backwards. So, for the month of December, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, we are kicking off with Aries. So, if you could, please smash that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Your girl would greatly appreciate it. If you are a new viewer, welcome to the channel. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Glad to have you either way. But let's see what the month of December has in store for my collective. Kicking off with Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. All right, Aries, let's see what the month of December has in store for you. I am rolling out this month's spread with the Urban Suburban deck, which was authored by Water Star Sea Vibes. Go check her out. I'm gonna plug her in into the edits so you'll be able to see her on the screen. But yeah, some real nice artwork that we about to get up into. Water Star Sea Vibes. I think I'm saying that right. It'll be on the screen so you'll know how to and where I got this deck. But I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I'm gonna pull a 10-card Celtic cross spread. Let's see what the month of December has for you. What do my Aries need to know? Like I said, this is a very small space. I'm going to try to make it fit, but you know me, I'm gonna read the cards off to you, break down the message, and keep it moving. And just as a FYI, I do about a 10-day, every 10 days I deliver a message. The last message that previewed on the channel was plot twist moments between now and the end of the year for each sign. Go check that out. All right, Aries, let's see. Let us see what the month of December has for my Aries collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let me move this over since this is, I got y'all, just bear with me. 2 more cards, please. One more card, please, for the month of December for my Aries collective. All right, Aries, let's get up into your message. So, for my Aries, at the heart of your spread, you receive the 2 of Wands crossed by the King of Wands. At the root of your spread, you have the Moon. And at the crown, you have the High Priestess. In the recent past, the 2 of Coins. In the near future, the 4 of Swords. In your advice section, you have the 3 of Cups. in your environment is the strength. Let's see, your hopes and fears is represented by the Two of Coins. And the outcome for the month is the eight of coins. So Aries, let's get up into your message and break it down. Sun, moon, rising, and Venus. With this Two of Wands at the center of your spread, crossed by the King of Wands, that is, again, my Aries, they want to do so much, but you know, they're limited maybe by money, time. You know what I mean? I'm picking up on an Aries collective who has big dreams, passions, things they want to pursue. However, they either don't have enough time and or money at the same time to get it done. So it's like they have this desire to get something off the ground, but there's hesitation there. There's limitation there. But it's okay, Aries. It's okay. The foundation being laid and a rest being taken is what you need to do in the month of December, because what I see coming, you're going to have some work to do. You're going to need your energy. So just as an overall theme for the month of December, you're being advised to preserve your energy, Aries. Yes, yep, got that confirmation. Take a rest, you know, hibernate, rest, because the work is coming. It's coming. At the root of your spread, with the moon being here and the high priestess at the crown, it's some secrets. It's some things either you, Aries, or someone around you don't want you to know. It's some level of allure, even through mystery, that is going on with my Aries collective, right? So I don't know. There is a sense of urgency, as well as I can't wait till I'm able to pop out on them. Wait till they see what has been brewing and what I've been working on, because my Aries is laying a nice little foundation, or getting ready to springboard into a beautiful place in going into 2026. So in your recent past, with the Two of Cups being here, there was a partnership around love. It could have been with a child, not just romantic. If it was love, take it as it resonates, Aries. But there was something in your past where you were very dedicated to, that you're not as dedicated to moving into 26. It started off promising, and now it's kind of died down a little bit. The allure of it is not what you, Aries, with the King of Wands crossing the heart of your spread. That's your court card, Aries. Like, you are maybe even getting in your own way to some degree on how you see this thing. And I say that because I have Aries Venus, and I have some experience with Aries. They get bored quickly, right? So if the decisions or the visions are not coming to fruition, and there's no execution around maybe someone's love bombing you a few months ago, and there's no action or gas to that, you put them on ice with this Four of Swords being here. You bow out gracefully with this moon and the high priestess. Is like you become a figment of their imagination to some degree, Aries. You know, take it how it resonates. If this not your message, if it don't apply, let it fly. That's what I like to say over here at aTone Tarot. Yeah, Aries. So interesting little turn of events in December. In your advice section, you have this Three of Cups. That's advising you to just surround yourself with the people that you know have your back, understand who you are, and allow space for that, right? Because you are a very bold one, Aries, and your environment is that of somebody who needs that space platform, stage to turn turn up fireworks, right? Like, so I understand that level of energy inside my Aries collective, but like when I started this reading, something going on right now is limiting your ability to move at the momentum you want to. Yes, I needed to find the appropriate word. You want to do something quickly because it's here in your mind and it feels ingenious and you feel fired up behind this thing. So you're being advised, or Spirit is advising me to advise you, Aries, just take a rest, take a beat with this Four of Swords in the near future. Rest, because the time is coming where some decisions will need to be made around your coins. And we're going to get into a financial spread in the breakdown of December. So make sure you tune in moving forward as I break down the month of December for each sign. But yeah, you have a reoccurring theme of twos here, Aries, with the Two of Cups, the Two of Coins, and the Two of Wands at the heart of your spread. So something to be mindful of. The next 2 months might be a time of rest for you, but after that, the work comes with that Eight of Coins being the outcome in December. There's work to be done, and if it's not showing up at the end of December, it will within a 2-month time span for my Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So make sure you are taking your appropriate rest. Take your vitamins, Aries. Meditate, ground yourself, spend time with your family. Get your scales balanced as it relates to your emotional cup being renewed and filled up moving into the new year. Yeah, because there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of things you're going to have to take care of, Aries, in 2026. So that is your message. I will be moving on to Taurus. Let's see what my Taurus collective has. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. All right, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's see what the month of December has for you guys. December for my bull gang. Let's see what it's looking like. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let me know how I'm doing in the comments. Give me a like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. But let's see what's going on. I hope all is well with everyone. Yes, yes, yes. Give me some suggestions for topics. For my Taurus collective. What does the month of December have in store? As I stated before, I'm going to do my best to squeeze in the Celtic cross in this view. So I'll break it down. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the month of December. What do we have? I'll tell you what, My content is not short of signs, synchronicities, and reoccurring themes with these numbers. So, for my Taurus collective, what do you have for the month of December? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Two more cards, please, Spirit. One more card. One more card, please, for my Taurus collective for the month of December. All right, Taurus, let's get up into your message. So at the heart of your spread, you have the Six of Swords crossed by Death. At the root of your spread, you have the Ten of Coins. At the crown, you have the Ten of Swords in reverse. In your recent past, you have the Ace of Wands. In the near future, you have the Seven of Wands in reverse. In your advice section, you have the King of Wands. In your environment, you have the Two of Cups. In your hopes and fears, you have the Six of Wands. And in your potential outcome, the Three of Coins. So let's break down my Taurus collective bull games message for the month of December, with the Six of Swords being at the heart of your spread, Taurus, crossed by Death. You could be struggling on how to exit something or get out of something. Remove yourself from something that maybe you like, I shouldn't be. Excuse me, I shouldn't have gotten involved in the first place, right? And how it wound up here, or how you wound up in this situation, it was gradual, right? The transition out and the closing of a chapter of something is becoming a bit of a challenge in how you do it. You know, you're struggling with saying the right words, or I don't know, I'm picking up on somebody feeling like, I know I promised you a lot of things in the onset of our relationship, but I've changed my mind for some reason. I don't know what changed, but something changed. Something new sparked with this Ace of Wands being in your recent past. It lit something that required you to take action. Or I'm getting the image of somebody being pushed, not off a cliff, but like your back is against the wall and the ground underneath you is coming to an end too. It's like something forcing you to say something. You're being put in a position that is uncomfortable to have to address something, speak to something that may not be necessarily so favorable as it relates to legacy, family, relationship. Because there's this, I did at one point want to invest and move forward in such a way very heavily with something, but there was an about face with this Ten of Swords being at the crown of your spread in reverse. So this Ten of Swords in reverse is pulling up and getting the victory, and like something that could have been very bad and heartbreaking for someone else, it changes quickly and is forgiven, if you will, in some way, where it's like, I didn't want to have to do it this way, but this is the way it must be done. With this Seven of Wands being in reverse in the near future. It's you're being put in a position where you have basically no other choice but to speak to the elephant in the room. And once you do that, it corrects something, Taurus, with this Ten of Swords being in reverse that might have been unfair to you or someone that mattered to you. And you're able to finally close the chapter on it, but you're struggling with maybe how to accept it. There's a level of acceptance of this ending that you're struggling with, maybe. Like shutting something down is you have a lot of nostalgic memories and you're not ready to let it go. Like maybe 2025 was very memorable for you in such a way, but it didn't work out, the way you wanted it to at the ends or the close. But you're like, man, I don't want to close something out, but I must, because something is different. Something recently changed. And now I have to really look at how 26 is going to look for me. Take it how it resonates, Taurus. But this Six of Swords being at the root of your spread crossed by death, that's struggling with how to close something out, how to put something behind you. And the thing that you're putting behind you has to do with legacy, family, in some way where you might feel like they or someone betrayed you, or somebody was betrayed, and you have to accept that either this person is the way that they are or the situation is what it is, and you have no say so over how it goes. Now it's out of your hands, Taurus, with this Seven of Wands being in reverse. But the King of Wands is in your advice section, and that is advising you to look towards the future and know that the worst of it is behind you. And you had to endure, suffer, and even go through some things that were good that might not be in your near future, because you can already see the ending of it. But your environment is the Two of Cups. That is a love partnership where you and another person lock in and decide, you know what, I'm going to reevaluate how I interact with somebody. Like something happens where the closing of something or the acceptance of something needs to take place. And once that happens, you're able to weed through the excess, right? And really get down to the heart of the matter and what and who is important to you, Taurus, with this Two of Cups being in your environment. That is going to highlight who your partnerships truly are, who you can work with, who you do brainstorm well with, who does create space for you to be your authentic self. You're really going to see that, and you're going to celebrate those people, but don't go too far, Taurus, with this Six of Wands being in your hopes and fears. You hope to be celebrated and reciprocated by friends, families, and those that I mentioned in that Two of Cups energy in your environment. But they may or may not have access, time, energy. You just never know what people's backdrop is to be able to execute at the level that you execute, Taurus. So make sure that there's a level of acceptance within inside you there as well when you go into this holiday season. If you have the access and the means to roll out the red carpet for someone else, that doesn't mean that that person essentially has to, give it back in the way that they did it. Think about how much they had to give, and the ultimate outcome for the month of December is the Three of Coins. working with a small group. Because remember, I told you your environment is represented by this Two of Cups, where it highlights those who truly are good for your soul, good for your progression, good for helping you brainstorm and feel lighthearted and feel safe, Taurus. So you'll be able to work with at the end of December, or determine who you're going to work with, who your crew is going to be going into 2026, these Taurus, right? Because you know, those who genuinely celebrate you in the way that you celebrate them. And it's not going to be something where you're going tit for tat with your people. That's not what I'm saying, Taurus. But what I am saying is you are going to receive recognition around how well you have celebrated and stood up in something with your peers, friends, family members. Take it in stride. Don't let it go to your head, Taurus. You know what I mean? You're going to receive the appropriate flowers, as you should. As you should. This feels like a nice, warm winter season for you. I know that's a bit of an oxymoron, Taurus, me saying warm winter, right? But it's going to be nice and cozy for you. And you're going to be a big part of creating that coziness with this King of Wands in your advice section, Taurus. So you're being advised to look forward to the future and be hopeful for those that you are able to discern who you will be working with, and who are able to be the gears to push your projects forward, Taurus. I feel you getting very excited about some entrepreneurial endeavors going into 2026. Right? Because there's a level of acceptance and exiting something that might have been like a weight on you in 2025, and you were managing the best you knew how. But going into 2026, you can see the vision and what it looks like as it relates to progress, forward motion, even surrounding yourself with people who think at a bigger scale. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like my Taurus collective is ultimately craving. So that is your message, Taurus, for the month of December. We are going to move on to Gemini. Gemini, where you at? Let's see what's going on in the month of December for my Gemini collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. All right, let's get up into it, Gemini. I'm only using one deck for this read. So, and I haven't beaten up on this deck, but it's one of my favorites as it relates to artwork. Shout out to Water Star Vibes with the Urban Suburban deck. She's another reader on YouTube. Check her out. Yes, yes. We here to impress. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's see what's going on with my Gemini collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I have no idea why I recited those lines, but let's see what's good in the neighborhood for the Geminis. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the month of December. What do my Gemini collective need to know? going on with my Geminis? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Hope everything is all good with you guys out there. We're going to get up into this message, though, Gemini. What y'all got going on? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I don't do cards that fall on the floor, Gemini. There was quite a few of them, so let me shuffle them back in. But I need 2 more cards, please. 1 more card for my Geminis. 1 more card. All right. Let's get up into it. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for my Gemini collective as it relates to what you need to know for the month of December. You received at the heart of your spread the 9 of Swords crossed by the 2 of Wands, Gemini. At the root of your spread, you have the Moon. At the crown, you have the Sun. In the recent past, you have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Again, this space is small, so forgive me if the artwork and the cards being all over the place is driving you crazy, but I'm going to do my best to keep it in order. Anyway, in the recent past, you have the Ace of Cups. In the near future, you have the Hermit. In your advice section, you have the 6 of Cups. In the environment, it is represented by the 5 of Cups. In your hopes and fears, you have the 8 of Swords in reverse. And the outcome is the 9 of Cups. All right, Gemini, a couple of things going on. You stressing about something. With this 9 of Swords at the heart of your spread, you might be having some nightmares. You're anxious about something. Something is concerning you, but you're trying to hide it. So with the root of your spread being represented by the Moon and the crown of the spread representing or being represented by the Sun, by night you're stressing, maybe up. I'm picking up somebody, texting somebody all night, arguing, going back and forth, trying to gain understanding about why you did this thing to me. But by day, you have to be this shining star, beautiful, everything's perfect in my world type of energy. And again, apologies if I'm outing you, Gemini. And if this is not your message, check out your rising and or Venus and Moon sign. So with this 9 of Swords, like I said, at the heart of your spread crossed by this 2 of Wands, something is stressing you around maybe expansion. Something's not expanding and taking off at the rate you might have wanted it to, Gemini. Yeah, you're worried about something not progressing. I'm picking up on a Gemini collective taking an assessment of their life and saying, oh, I'm this age, and by this age I was supposed to have these things and I don't have these things. So because I don't have these things, and you go down this rabbit hole of sulking, beating up on yourself, stressing, Gemini, when You need to just breathe in, breathe out. Take a look at what you have come up out of and who is around you, who assisted you, the resources, support system, the people, the loved ones, the you and everything that you've manifested into your life, as well as what you've omitted and put back out, and what it has brought you. Gemini, take a long look at what you have come through and who you've done it with, and smile and understand that everything is going to be all right. Breathe in, breathe out. This stressing that you are doing with this Nine of Swords at the heart of your spread, crossed by this Two of Wands, is almost, again, I picked up on this type of energy with my Aries too. They were wanting to do something and they couldn't expand or grow or move at the rate that they wanted to. They wanted it now and they just couldn't get it now. And now is not now, Gemini. Damn it, it's not now for you. You just have to isolate, chill, reflect, relax. Again, with this Hermit card being in the near future for you, Gemini, paired with this Six of Cups as your advice, that Spirit saying reflect, review, smile, laugh, pull out some old pictures. You know what I mean? There's going to be some nostalgic moments during this holiday season for quite a few of you. That's really going to assist with that springboarding moment when it shows up for you, because it is going to show up for you, Gemini, into 2026. You're going to have your moment where you're ready to go. You're going to be able to truly operate in this sun energy without any illusions and having to hide. I'm picking up on a Gemini collective who just wants to be more outgoing and more inviting to maybe their friends and family, and they just can't do it right now because their careers are pulling them in a direction that is causing them some stress, where they're like, they're trying to plug holes in life. They feel like, my career is doing great, but, my family life is struggling, and it's not doing as bad as you think, Gemini, because you're not showing up stellar in both places doesn't mean that it's going to shit. So give yourself a break is the overall theme and message you need to receive, Gemini, for the month of December. That's 1. 2, as far as you keeping some things to yourself and being withdrawn, your emotions might be a little uneven. Just put some of that disclaimer out there to your friends and family so they don't feel like that iciness is something to be concerned about, right? Just say, I need some time. Mommy needs some time. Daddy needs some time. Listen, babe, I need some time. I need to take a ride. Like, can you make dinner tonight? Because I just need to think. I have a lot of things I need to prepare for. Take that time with this Hermit in the near future and reflect on, like I said, what you've come through, what you've survived, what you've overcome, what you've accomplished, Gemini. And take a little trip down memory lane and you'll see it. You'll see. You've had a support system. You've had the get up and go. You've had it. And it's there. And it will continue to be there. Right? So, again, give yourself a break with the environment section being represented by the Five of Cups. I'm picking up on you possibly having to console some people around you, Gemini, who might be going through some heavy emotional moments, as well as you too. So you may be each other's support group, you and this person and or people. You can relate. Maybe it's and my condolences if this is the case. your grandmother isn't here, and you and your cousins, sisters, friends who even knew your grandmother are having to console each other, and this being the first holiday season without this family member. I'm picking up on some of that energy with the Five of Cups, representing your environment section. All right. Your hopes and fears is the Eight of Swords in reverse. This is you really jumping out there, like I said, and wanting to springboard into that moment where you can show up as the super parent, as the super employee, as the grounded person, all of your finances in order, your spiritual boxes checked. That's the energy that I'm picking up on for my Geminis. There's a sense of perfectionism going on that is inadvertently causing you maybe to stress a little bit, because not for nothing, no one's perfect, Gemini. So give yourself a break about timing and where you believe you should be at this stage of your life. So give yourself a break is the advice and the message again I'll say to you with this Eight of Swords being in reverse. Like I was going to say, when the Eight of Swords is upright, it's someone who feels trapped or who is blindsided by something. But when it's in reverse, this is someone who fully sees, understands, and can break it down past the point where they are like well ahead of their time. That's what I'm picking up on. This is your cross to bear, if you will, Gemini. You are ahead of maybe the group of people or the organization that you sit with. You're a few steps ahead. You've already thought it out to the end. These swords represent the mind, intelligence. And if the Eight of Swords upright is somebody who don't see, oh, I didn't know, I missed it completely. What happened? Who? And if in reverse, this is like, somebody you can't get anything past. Oh yeah, I got an answer for that. I already thought about that. That's your cross to bear, I said, because it's in the hopes and fears. Like, that's a good problem to have to some degree, but it can also get you in a position where you're the one now who has to do the work and the heavy lift to lay the groundwork to get it off the ground, because it's your brainchild, right? No one can speak to it like you do, which only creates more tasks for you, Gemini. But at the end of the day, you have the Nine of Cups as the outcome for your monthly spread in December. That's winning. You winning, and you ultimately accomplish that thing or thing that you are worried about and stressing about. You wind up coming out on top, Gemini. So don't stress. Don't beat yourself up too much, because it gets greater later. And while yes, you have all of the steps and what needs to be done, but you may not necessarily have the resources, time, energy, whatever you insert, what is applicable to your situation. It's coming, and the moments will be there. But for now, you need to reflect and be there for your friends and family, right? And tune in to how I break down the month in December, just to get some insight around how to breathe through these moments of up and down that you may go through, where you want to isolate and be to yourself, Gemini, which you will need to do. So that is your message, Gemini. We are moving on to Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Where my Cancers at? My Krabby Patties. Yes. Let's see what's going on with the Cancer Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. for the month of December. Hope all is well with you guys. You're enjoying the content. For my returning viewers, welcome back. For my first time watchers, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you. Let's see what the month of December has for my Cancer collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I am collecting topics for future readings going into 2026. So if you could, please drop some things into the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. Let me know what you want me to tune in and tap in on, Cancer, and I'll get right to it. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do we have for my Cancer collective for the month of December? Quick energy check-in, Spirit. I really love the artwork on this deck. Yes. She kind of looks like Tyra Banks to me. For some reason, that's who I thought of when that Queen of Coins popped out. Which is appropriate because, you know, Tyra, get her money. She bought her coins. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. For the month of December. What do my Cancers need to know? What's going on, Cancer? Oh, no. It goes there. Somebody paying attention, right? I'm a visual person. I have to see it, you know, in order to really bring it. So that's a part of the reason why I'm squishing this into this view. So bear with me, but I'm going to break it down for my Cancers. Just stick with me. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is going on for the month of December? One more card, please, for my Cancer collective. All right, Cancer, let's get up into your message. So at the heart of your spread, you have the Moon crossed by the Queen of Coins. At the root, you have the High Priestess. At the crown, the Four of Swords in reverse. In your recent past, you have the Ace of Swords. In the near future, you have the Page of Swords. In your advice, you have the Seven of Wands. Your environment is represented by death. The hopes and fears has the King of Wands sitting in it. And your outcome for the month, we have the Seven of Swords. So Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. For you, Cancer, you are facing a truth that is piercing, you know, a recent truth that came to light with this Ace of Swords in your recent past. is causing you to become a student of a new discipline is what I'm picking up on for my Cancer collective. Maybe even a spiritual path that you are embarking on, like an act of divination that you are tapping into that you're not really sharing with a lot of people, but you're becoming a student of the spiritual world in such a way that maybe you hadn't in the past, right? So with the moon at the center of your spread, you know, you're keeping this to yourself. You know, something changed. Like, I'm really picking up on a Cancer collective who maybe discovered that their spiritual path that they once walked needs some adjustments to it. I'll say that because I don't want to get too deep down the rabbit hole with that, right? With the Queen of Coins crossing the moon, something is costing you, like financially, to fix. Like, something may have happened around something significant where you cannot deny it was creeping up in your dreams. Whatever this is in your sleep, you couldn't even run from it in sleep. This truth, whatever it is and or was, Cancer, that you must face, and you realize that you like, listen, it's been long enough that I've tucked this thing in the closet. I'm going to deal with it. I'm curious to see what happens if I deal with this thing, with this Page of Swords being in your near future. And when I say deal with this thing, meaning peel back the layers. Really going to go sit on someone's couch, reviewing your childhood. And going back to my previous message, even reviewing some of your spiritual beliefs. You may have had an encounter in such a way with the Almighty that has changed how you look at life, Cancer. Something major and significant has occurred with this Cancer collective that I'm speaking to. Again, if this is not your message, don't try to make it fit. If it don't apply, let it fly, right? So, but for this particular collective, something significant has occurred in your life that changes the way you look at a lot of things. And you may not have wanted to admit this initially because you were so hell-bent for such a long time in this belief system. You just swore by it. It was your science. It was the way you lived your life, and something changed. Something is changing, or something happened that is causing you to really do a deep dive and study and be vigilant in how you study yourself and those around you, starting from the beginning and working your way to the present. I'm really picking up on a Cancer collective, even going to, what's the website where you provide your DNA and Ancestry.com, right? You wanting to know more and digging deeper into your past. Really picking up on a Cancer collective spending a couple dollars to invest in their emotional well-being by starting from their past and working their way forward. And you might discover in the month of December where you have to put in place certain boundaries and close out certain relationships because they are at the center of some traumas and issues that have been a part of present day life for you, even down to how you shaped your spiritual lens, Cancer. You know, with death being here in your environment, you're closing out some relationships, some thought process, and really moving forward with a certain amount of confidence that, you know, being able to accept that you might have had it wrong, but now you moving forward righteously with stealth, and you're not really making no announcements about it. You're just reinventing yourself in such a way, Cancer, where it's like, all right, you know, things changed. This was this way for quite a bit of time. It's no more. Close the chapter on it. It's a natural progression of life, Cancer. And you may have to resist falling back into old ways. Old ways. You might want to go back, and because it's comfortable, is what you know. It's like, I don't feel like, or I don't have the energy to deploy this new thing or this new behavior. But you must be consistent, vigilant, and aware of where you currently sit, as well as where you want to go, the end game, if you will. Because with the Seven of Swords being the outcome for your spread, Cancer, someone may also be trying to stop you from changing that way, right? Like if you've been a part of a certain group or network of individuals operating in such a way, and you were considered a resource, and you were that person that they relied on, and something now changes or is changing with you, Cancer, where you feel as though, apologies, I'm messing with stuff, Cancer, you don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to do that thing anymore. Someone may try to convince you through lies and deception and to stay on board with something because it's comfortable for them. It's more convenient for them. And your loyalty bone, because my Cancers are very loyal, with this King of Wands sitting in the hopes and fears, you're hoping that, you know, you're doing the right thing as it relates to making this adjustment and change, right? That's the intuitive sense about you, which if you look back over your life, Cancer, usually it hasn't been wrong. And now you are making an adjustment to something that you may have been wrong about, but it suited you for the time that and served you in the time frame that you were in. Don't negate that, Cancer. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Don't go doubting yourself because you want to put it up against your loyalties to another individual or group of individuals. So trust that what your intuition is telling you, with this High Priestess being here in this moon, that you are able to discern and see and pick up on those who are trying to maybe gaslight you. Don't fall for it. Be confident in knowing that your intuition is giving you the right reads, messages, signals, you know what I mean, at the right time to either shut something down so that you can birth something new, or be silent and put boundaries in place with people, places, and things that you know no longer serve you, Cancer. You understand what it is because some things have been taxing you, and people can see this. People can maybe see how tired you are and how burdened you have been, and you need to take a rest, Cancer. So that is your message for the month of December, Cancer. We are moving on to my Leos, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What's up, Leo? My lovely Leo collective. What y'all got going on closing out 2025? How are the lions and lioness going to close out 2025. Because if anybody know how to have a mic drop moment and shut it down, it's a Leo. If you didn't know, you're being told today. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know why I'm being brought to say that, but that's facts. That's facts. A Leo know how to exit. Knows how to have a nice little exit. As well as intro. You know what I mean? They work that stage from beginning to end. And life is but a stage. So, all right, Leo, let's see what December has in store for my Leo collective. And if you haven't done so already, please smash that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Let me know how I'm doing in the comments, Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do we have for the month of December for my Leo collective? Leo, let's get up into it. What do we have for my Leos? Oh my God. All right, Leo. Let's get up into it. For the month of December, you received at the heart of your spread the Seven of Cups crossed by the Knight of Swords. At the root of your spread, you have the Ten of Cups. At the crown, you have Justice. In the recent past, you have the Queen of Cups. In the near future, you have the King of Swords. In your advice, you have the Four of Coins. In your environment, you have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. In your hopes and fears, you have the Fool. And in your outcome for the month of December, you have the Nine of Coins. All right, Leo, let's get up into your message. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for my Leos. So with the Seven of Cups being at the crown of your spread, I'm sorry, not the crown, the heart of your spread, Leo, crossed by the how does he get like this? I don't like that. Apologies, Leo. I want the camera view to go. It's supposed to be a certain way. I don't understand why I just adjust it like that. Anyway, my apologies. So, Seven of Cups at the heart of your spread, crossed by the Knight of Swords. And at the root, you have the Ten of Cups. At the crown of your spread, you have Justice. There we go. Here we go. Just getting refocused, Leo. In the recent past, you have the Queen of Cups. In the near future, I think I recited all of this already for some reason, but I'm going to go through it one more time just in case I didn't. The King of Swords. In the advice, you have the Four of Coins. In the environment, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And the hopes and fears, you have the Fool, and the outcome, the Nine of Coins. That camera readjustment threw me off. Anyway, the Seven of Cups at the heart of your spread, crossed by the Knight of Swords. I instantly picked up on a knee-jerk reaction, like you saying and blurting something, or someone saying and blurting something out their mouth because they maybe were presented with too many options at one time and they just chose one. So be mindful of that, Leo. With that Seven of Cups crossed by the Knight of Swords, that's the knee-jerk spontaneous reaction, movement, and what you say evokes a response and action in someone else that you're like, wait, I didn't mean that. Like, hold on, let me run that back because I had so many options. But when I think about it, this is maybe the better option. So whatever you say or someone says is not a bad option. It's just not the best option. So this is given, think before you speak, Leo. That's the heart of your message. Think before you speak, Leo. All right. Now, with the Ten of Cups being at the root of your spread, Leo, you really are fulfilled and feeling very happy with family. There's a sense of self-love that is omitting from the inside out with my Leos. You've done a lot of, or have spent a lot of time with yourself, reflecting maybe throughout 2025, that has brought you a sense of wisdom and calm and peace about your energy that is a little different than maybe what was going on at the beginning of the year or the year prior. I'm picking up on a waters being settled. Like you have tumultuous waters and then you sail into now calm waters. There's a calmness that has come about you, Leo, through experience, which is interesting because it feels like a lot of craziness has been going on around you, but you've learned how to weather the storm and do it with grace and a certain amount of poise. Yes, poise. That is what I'm picking up on. Poise. So with this Seven of Cups and Knight of Swords being at the heart of your spread, it may be you being tested, right, Leo, in such a way where you have learned that speaking before you think or thinking before you speak, however it comes out your mouth, may not necessarily be the best way, even though someone understood you. You know, you've learned to refine that and not always give up the goods by being the first to jump in front of a bullet, jump in front of a task, jump in front of being the volunteer to drive to pick someone up, or being the one who is available on the Saturday night to be the babysitter. I don't know what it is. It's something where you are learning how to pick your moments. Yeah. And it's giving you a sense of fulfillment, Leo. And it's created a nice harmony of boundary and interaction with you and your loved ones. Like maybe in years prior, you didn't know how to say no to loved ones, but now you do. And they don't love you any less. You know what I mean? And there's more joy, harmony, laughter, whatever the case may be in your interactions with these people, because you know how to definitively say one way or the other what you will and won't do, what you are okay with, what you're comfortable with versus what you're not. But you may be tested before the year ends, where you have another situation where you might stick your foot in your mouth, Leo. So just be mindful of that. With justice being at the crown of your spread, you are seeking some truth. You want balance. Something is not right, and you need to set it right. Leo, with justice being at the crown of your spread, you're on a mission to incorporate and balance out some scales in such a way. You want justice for something, and you know how to go about getting it. You gonna get it with this King of Swords in the near future. This is a Leo who is strategically planning out something that might have been done to them unfavorably, unfairly, and finding out what resources of vindication are available to you. Something is hanging on your head as it relates to a legal matter, or you just seeking out an apology even from someone. Like, somebody owe me an apology. You even taking it to the altar, to the Most High, and saying, listen, I just want people around me that are for me, and those that are not, have them removed out of my life. Not removed from the earth, but out of my life. Like, you just want what is fair and what is rightfully yours, Leo. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing wrong with that. And with the Four of Coins being in your advice section, it is advising you, or Spirit is advising you, to save some money. You might need some money to get something rolling, to make something right in the near future in 2026. When you do the research, you discover, like, okay, I got to put a couple of dollars towards getting to the next step of that vindication that I am deserving of. Even like securing a lawyer, with that Four of Coins being here. Four of Coins also represents someone who is very frugal and is watching every dollar. You see, he got the, I don't know how well you can pick up on the image, but he has a mason jar full of coins. I have a person that comes to mind, a few people that come to mind actually, and both of them are Leos who do this. My mom is one of them. She used to have not the mason jar, but the big water cooler. She used to take the water cooler jugs and put coins in them. And she would haul that water cooler jug to the supermarket and dump it, and would have hundreds of dollars by the time that thing was full. I have another friend who also does this with their coins, Leo. So this is advising you with this Four of Coins in your advice section, Leo. Stack your coins. Or if you got a mason jar with coins sitting on your dresser, go get it, because you're going to need it. You know what I mean? Be observant and very intentional with your money in the month of December. Come on now with this view. Y'all gonna be like, what is she doing? With the Wheel of Fortune in your environment section in reverse, that is an environment of something being brought up and addressed over and over again. This might be you reviewing something, a plan, a conversation, an event that happened. You just can't let it go. It is playing over and over and over. You're running back. You're going back, and things are starting to click. You ever get to a situation and you get relevance around it, and then you start looking back at previous conversations like, oh, that's why that person said that, or that's why that person was uncomfortable when I said ABC 1 2 3. That is what the Wheel of Fortune in reverse in your environment section represents. You're going to replay, revisit, re-see something that clicks for you, Leo. And you like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I remember. Now I understand. I fully understand, right? And you have the Fool in your hopes and fears. You're hoping that this risk or new start or thing that you're seeking and chasing to set right doesn't put you in a position to look foolish. But no worries, Leo, because the outcome is the Nine of Coins. That's wealth, abundance, prosperity, winning. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. You see, she got that money in her hand and that fur on her back. Yeah, that's enough to support and take care of yourself comfortably by way of whatever this is. So you will be fulfilled emotionally as well as financially. And the self-love and the things that you've endured, some of the hurts that you've had to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, Leo, have they have created these moments to be more precious right now and more favorable for you right now. They've created this King of Swords energy to a certain amount of intellect, wisdom, stealth, strategy, and just the polishing of the sword. Leo, the swords represent intelligence, and your level of intelligence going into 2026 is pristine. Yeah. So just know that whatever you take on or you're about to embark on, if you got some questions around its success, failures, no worries, Leo. You are being advised, one, to give pause, think about the things that you have learned around how you deliver your message, right? And keep that nice, cool hand, as well as understanding you have the level of intelligence to deliver that message and stack your coins so that you have the purse to push your project message forward going into 2026 so that you can obtain that justice that is, deserving of you, Leo. So that is your message. I hope that it helps. Make sure you come back, tune in to how I break down the month of December, because I'm going to be focusing on career in the month of December like I have never done before. I don't believe I've done too many career like finance reads. So I'll be getting into that. And I believe that, with that Four of Coins being in your advice, you'll want some more direction around how to move forward with your money, what's coming with your money. So tune in, Leo. Make sure you tune in as I tap in. But moving on to Virgo. Virgo. What's going on with my Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the month of December? I am tapping in using this Urban Suburban deck. Shout out Water Star Vibes, who is the author of this deck. Beautiful artwork. Go check her out. Purchase the deck. I'll put a link to how you can purchase the deck in the description. All right, Virgo. Let's see what we have for my Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And because I am using only one deck, no clarifiers, I want to make sure I get a good shuffle and fold for the all signs. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do my Virgos need to know? I think I'm going to put this out on Thanksgiving, somewhere in there, if not the latest, the Friday after. So my Virgo collective need to know for the month of December. Two more cards, please, Spirit. Virgo. All right, Virgo, let's get up into your message. So at the heart of your spread, you have the Chariot crossed by the Seven of Swords. At the root of your spread, you have the Seven of Cups. At the crown, you have the King of Wands. In your recent past, strength is in reverse. In your near future, you have the Six of Wands. In your advice section, it is represented by the Three of Coins. In your environment, you have the Nine of Swords. In your hopes and fears, you have the Six of Cups. And in your outcome for the month of December, you have the Ten of Swords. All right, Virgo. So something transpires in the month of December that picks up some movement that is not so cool. Like you really find out somebody or something is not Team Virgo like you thought. Forgive me. And I need to make sure the view is right. So with this Chariot at the heart crossed by the Seven of Swords, there's some sneaky, shady, lying behavior that picks up some momentum. It gets some, what's the word I'm looking for? Airtime. Like it's brought to the forefront out of nowhere. And maybe you are concealing this from someone, but something throws you in a tizzy, Virgo, right? Where somebody who may not have been honest with you, maybe like and if this is not your message, check out your rising, Venus and or moon sign to fill in the gaps. And if it don't apply, let it fly. But I will say this, I'm picking up like the message of someone taking your car somewhere, Virgo, that you may not necessarily know they were taking your car. Somebody, you let them hold your car, you're in a relationship with someone and you share the car and someone's driving somewhere that you would not be okay with them going to this location with your vehicle, right? And while they are out and about with your vehicle, Virgo, they are doing some things that are not so favorable as it relates to your partnership with them. Because somebody has some options with this Seven of Cups at the root of the spread. And this might be you. Insert yourself into the storyline as it applies. In the recent past, you have strength in reverse. Somebody has given up on trying to maybe even be what someone else wants. I'll say it like that. Someone might have been, like trying to make a relationship work, and they're like, look, I'm over it. I don't care what you do. Like, do whatever you want to do. There's a sense of, I give up, right? And in doing so, and when you give up, you kind of fall back, and you take some steps back, and you're not as active. You're not as affectionate. You're not as attentive, right? And when you start doing that, the other person may create a narrative in their head that, oh, well, Virgo is not celebrating me and being all warm and fuzzy with me like they used to. So now I can go off and do something to find that feeling elsewhere and feel justified in doing so. Someone may feel justified like, oh, Virgo, you haven't been doing ABC 1, 2, 3 for me, and that's the reason why I'm looking elsewhere. They're putting it on you to some degree, Virgo. And I see it, Virgo. You did take a step back. You did kind of say, you know what, I wasn't receiving the appreciation and celebration like I wanted to when I was doing it. So I'm going to just reel it in a little bit. Because you know what they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So let my absence create some type of fondness for you. You need to remember how I used to make you feel, and pay attention to the fact that I'm not making you feel that way anymore, because there's a problem, right? But instead, the person may go and look elsewhere to some degree with this 7 of Cups at the root of your spread, or you believe they are, Virgo. You suspect that they are. Your intuition may not be wrong with this 7 of Swords crossing that Chariot, right? Like about the options that your significant other may have. Because I'm picking up on some playboy, play girl energy with this King of Wands at the crown of the spread. And you see how your significant other is celebrated. I'm picking up on a Virgo who is maybe has a mild demeanor. They like to stay in the house. They're not really an extrovert naturally. Like, they know how to socialize. They know how to be around people. But being an extrovert in the life of the party is not what Virgo naturally does. However, their significant other does. They are the complete opposite. They know how to work a room. They are a socialite, right? And you guys have maybe complimented each other quite a bit in the past, being that way. But something now, you suspect, Virgo, that compliment, that pairing might have someone else in it. You suspect that your partner's allure and big personality is attracting in some options and maybe creating competition for you. That you like, You don't compete where you don't compare. So you are taking all of this in stride or into observation and consideration. You see it, or it's coming, Virgo. And with this 3 of Coins being in your advice section, I have to be honest with you, because the first thing that I got was, and I just have to say it, I'm going to just give it how I got it. Use your friends, Virgo, to get a different lens of your significant other. When I got this Three of Coins, I picked up on, remember, and some people might still do this, you call somebody on three-way and you put yourself on mute because you want to hear what the conversation is like if the person doesn't believe you are there. That's what I got with this Three of Coins, something like that. Use external resources to create a different lens to maybe help see a person in a different way. I know that sounds like sabotage. I'm just trying to say it without saying it, but that's what it's looking like is going to happen, or you're thinking about doing, or you already did, or somebody did it to you, Virgo. Somebody, there's a setup, or there's a teamwork. Like, let me call Keisha and have Keisha go down to the school and walk past and see what's going on with my significant other, who is a teacher, who I can't get a hold of during his lunch breaks anymore. Like, it's giving that energy, and that's your advice. You're being advised to deploy some level of strategy, if you will, to confirm maybe these things, because in your environment, you got the Nine of Swords. You are stressing about something. You need confirmation of something. It's bothering you. It's at your gut. Something is saying, nah, my spidey senses are tingling, and you can't seem to get too much else done until you know for certain whether or not a person's word is true. This might be hiring a private eye, doing a background check on somebody, just making sure you know that that person's word is solid. Not that I don't trust you, but I'm gonna count this money right in front of you. Make sure we both on the same page about who said what of who and who is what in this situation, because something inside of me is telling me that there is some maybe not so honest behavior going on when maybe somebody dips up out of town, somebody travels for business, and with this Chariot, when they go out of town, honey, oh, they having a time. They having a good time. And whenever this person goes out of town, they leave somebody at home stressing, worried about what they doing. And in your hopes and fears, you got the Six of Cups. With that being in your hopes and fears, that is saying, you know something, you can't deny it. You know it's true, but you're hoping it's not. You're hoping you're wrong. You're hoping that what your intuition and what you're suspecting, seeing, picking up on, and maybe even hearing, you're hoping that is wrong. But unfortunately, Virgo, with this Ten of Swords, being at the outcome of your spread, you discover that you're not wrong, right? And I will say, I do not want to trigger anyone. Again, if this is not your message, if it don't apply, let it fly. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But I am picking up on a Virgo collective who is and has suspected that their person is not with them like they used to be, not connected to them like they used to be, and they have a wandering eye. You know what I mean? Something's going on where somebody's hiding something. I said somebody hiding somebody. That might be the case too. You know, so, and either you, Virgo, are doing this or somebody's doing this to you. But, you know what I mean? Just check me out in December. We're going to get into some different topics as I break down the month. But that is your message, Virgo, for the month of December. We are going to move on to my Libras. Libras, where are you at? What's going on? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I hope all is well with you guys. Welcome to the channel. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Come on, Libra. Let's see what the close of the year has for my Libra collective. Sun, Moon, rising in Venus. How are we closing out the year? What do you need to know? My cat be right behind me in my chair, like right up underneath me. And if I ever want to roll back, I have to look first because I had him rolled up on his tail one time, and the cry that came out of my baby, it broke my heart. I couldn't take it. So I always make sure I check before I scoot my chair forward, back, or move it at all because I'm so traumatized by that. I don't know why I'm sharing that, but you guys are probably like, get up into my message, girl. I do it when the spirit say so. I move when the spirit tell me to. Not a minute before or less. Okay, Libras. Sun, Moon, rising in Venus. What do you need to know for the month of December? What is going on with my Libra gang? Quick energy check-in for the month. Sun, Moon, rising in Venus. What do you have for my Libras? One more card, and there it is. Libra, Sun, Moon, rising, and Venus. I like it. All right, Libra. Let's get up into it. For my Libra collective, at the heart of your spread, you have the Six of Wands crossed by the Four of Wands. At the root, you have the Nine of Coins. At the crown, you have the Knight of Coins. In your recent past, you have the Four of Swords. In your near future, you have the Moon. In your advice section, it is represented by the Ace of Coins. In your environment, you have the Four of Cups. In your hopes and fears, it is represented by the Five of Wands. And the outcome for the month of December is the Ten of Coins. All right, Libra. Let's get up into your message. So, with the Six of Wands at the heart of your spread, crossed by the Four of Wands, and this is just like a Libra. Y'all just be getting all the attention, and you can't help it. Like, you can't help it. It's your gift and your curse. You love it, but you hate it. Like, it creates confrontation in such a way because it garners envy, jealousy, your presence, and how it's celebrated, and how people laugh at you, and how people stare at you, and how people celebrate you. It creates issue, like, to some degree, where people, it's either you hate Libra completely or you love them entirely. With this Six of Wands crossed by this Four of Wands, right? That's Like, I don't know. That Libra boy, they be saying some things, dropping some gems, and I can't deny. And you got other people that's like, Libra just need to be quiet, right? So it's love it or hate it. That's Libra all day. For the month of December. At the root, you have the Nine of Coins. You are paying special attention to your money, your finances. I'm picking up on a Libra collective who is really going into a state of, the hats that the CPAs wear, and they got the calculators out and they're crunching the numbers. You are giving special attention to your coin. Libra, you're looking at your finances, maybe even digging back and pulling out statements starting at the beginning of 2025 and looking at how much money you spent in a particular area and wanting to compile that number and do something different with it going into 2026. Being very strategic about your money, like seeing how you've supported yourself in this year and wanting to do better with it, refining the design, your financial landscape by some way. You really pulling out a pen and paper and crunching some numbers and saying, okay, I didn't do too bad in 2025. I had a few close calls. And because I had a few of those close calls, I need to make sure that 2026 is set up right. So you didn't do too bad financially speaking in 2025, but there were some bumps in the road and some lessons that you learned and some close calls with this Knight of Coins being there, right? Where you had to become resourceful because maybe you had your moment of rest, but you had to get up on a good foot in these past couple of months, financially speaking, Libra, where you had to hustle and maybe grind a little harder than you had in the recent past. But in doing so, you saw what you were made of and saw what you could bring to the table financially speaking, and you realize, oh, okay, if I did more of this and less of that, I can make more money here. You start to really refine and review your financial systems at the end of this year or in the month of December, Libra. And you start to really bring to light some things that might have been hidden. You might even pick up on some things that were being charged to your account erroneously in previous months that you might have missed, and it adds up to not a lot but enough. You realize over the course of an entire year, there was an automatic debit coming out for a small amount. We'll just say $5 a month, but you missed it for 10 months straight. That's $50. And you're like, how did I miss that? You are really reviewing and going back and taking a look at every single dollar, dime, cent, penny, and where it has gone in the past as it relates to your money, Libra, because you want to make sure moving forward, where you are going, you're planting some profitable seeds, right? As it relates to your money, because the Ace of Coins sits in your advice section. And with that being in your advice section, you are being advised to know if you're going into a new endeavor, you need to know every dollar, dime, return on investment. Ask those tough questions. Make sure it's worth you putting your dollars, time, cents, energy into. And the best way to do that is to know how you spend your money, where your money has went in the past year, maybe cleaning up and fixing some gaps of where money was going out the window. Yeah, because you realize with the environment section being represented by the Four of Cups, you took some losses that you didn't have to take financially. that caused you to maybe beat up on yourself a little bit, Libra, but don't do too much. Don't do too much. You missed it, but you're fixing it now, and you might even be able to get on the line and get some of that money back. You know, claim fraud. Go submit some cases and claims to get some of that money back if it was inadvertently taken from you. You didn't know it was coming out. You weren't using the service. Submit a claim to your credit card company and say, look, I didn't even use these services. I want my money back. Right? Because you got the Four of Wands here with your in your hopes and fears. That's just saying ask the question. The worst thing you could be told is no, Libra. But if you don't ask, you'll never know, and you may never get them coins back. So ask the question. Put in the time to pick up the phone. Maybe put in some time to write that letter to fix your credit. That's what this is giving. I'm picking up on a Libra collective who wants to be serious and intentional about their finances because they are thinking about legacy, the end game, what's next, as it relates to maybe buying a home, creating a trust. There might be a child coming into the family that is new, a grandchild, something like that, because you got the 10 of coins as your outcome. Legacy is on your mind big time. And the Ace of Coins is the beginning of the 10 of coins. Libra. So that's your advice. The Ace of Coins is sitting in your advice section, and the 10 of Coins is sitting in your outcome. So again, if you haven't started doing so, need to start reviewing your checkbook, taking a look at 2025, how you spent your money, where you spent your money, where you can stand to tighten up and fill in the gaps and really tighten up as it relates to your financial spending. Because you might have been a little lax. You might have had a little luxury going on in your recent past where you could have creature comforts and not worry about those surcharges and Uber Eats and all of that. You had a little room in the budget to do that. That's not where you're going. You need to tighten up. Tighten up on your coins. Tighten up on how you spend your money, Libra. Because what's coming in 2026 is the opportunity for you to build legacy. A lot of financial abundance and opportunities are going to be before you in 2026. And you want to make sure you have money in the bank to be able to take advantage of those opportunities when they come around. You want to make sure that you are financially aware of where your money sits, as well as even where trends are with money, even in the market. Where is the money flowing right now? You have a nice sense of what's going on financially speaking. Keep your ear to the ground as it relates to any financial articles that may pop up on your phone, because that might be the birth of a new financial endeavor that leads to this 10 of coins energy, Libra. Yes. So be a good steward of your money, right? And don't worry about people maybe celebrating you so much and being the fan favorite, right? So that might have been a big part of your world for a long time with the 6 of Wands being at the heart of your spread, where everyone, you were the go-to person. Your house was the go-to house. And that celebration now is causing an issue. That level and amount of celebration is taxing your pockets in such a way that you need to pull back. It's taxing your time and energy in such a way you need to pull back, because you need to start channeling and driving and moving your money in dollars into a different direction, right? That are not around throwing parties and things like that. Not celebrating breaking bread, because maybe that was the mood and the energy and the season that my Libra collective was in 2022-23. You were in a very celebratory, come to my house, we're going to have game night at my house every week type of energy. But you might need to start shutting that down, because it's time for you to be more intentional around where you spend your time and money, because it's time to start looking at what legacy looks like for you, Libra, and how you spend your money and how you want to redirect some of that money over to a different category on the balance sheet, if you will. But that's your message, Libra. We are moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio, where you at? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's get up into your message. If you could, please, and you haven't done so already, smash that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Your girl would greatly appreciate it. Come on, Scorpio. What you got for me? What we doing in December? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for my Scorpio collective. Ooh, Scorpio. Baby, I gotta go to the bathroom. We're gonna pause this. Apologies, Scorpio. I was picking up on some anxious energy. Like I had to go to the ladies' room. It was a lot. So we're gonna get into your message. I'm gonna continue to shuffle. All right, Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the month of December. What do we have for my Scorpio collective? And I think I know why or where that energy is coming from, but we'll get into it. All right, one more card. Two, I'll take that one. All right, Scorpio, let's get up into your message. So at the heart of your spread, you receive Temperance in reverse, crossed by the Tower. Then at the root of your spread, you have the Seven of Swords in reverse. In the recent past, you have the Hangman. At the crown of your spread, you have the Six of Coins. In the near future, you have the Page of Cups. In the advice section, you have the Eight of Wands. In your environment, you have the Seven of Cups. In your hopes and fears, that is represented by the Five of Swords. And the outcome for the month is the Knight of Coins. Okay, Scorpio. So, I had to take a break. I had to pause the video so that I could get up and go to the little girl's room, because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I started to get this anxious energy. come upon me. So I don't know if something is going on where somebody discovers something, or something that is discovered where somebody was being sneaky and the truth was given in a very like abrupt way to someone else, and it's caused my Scorpio collective to be a little unbalanced. With this Temperance being in reverse, that is disharmony crossed by the Tower. Something that happened that was very bad that came up out to light with this Seven of Swords in reverse. So the Seven of Swords upright is somebody being sneaky and actually getting away with it. When it's in reverse, the truth coming out. The truth is coming out, and whatever that truth was, it's major and big. And it rocks somebody's world. And it causes someone to like pull back their favor from another. Right? Like almost writing you out the will. Like, I'm taking you out the will. You will not be in the will no more now that I've discovered this thing. That's how heavy this is. Right? And in the recent past, represented by the Hangman being here, this thing, whatever it is, somebody was isolating from you, Scorpio, or whoever it was, or whoever the guilty party was. You might have been able to pick up on it, because this person has been putting distance between you and them. You knew something was up, because you're like, wait a minute, I ain't heard from so-and-so in a while. I ain't seen so-and-so in a while. And you might have attributed it to them being busy, or, you know, just your lives not lining up to get together like you normally do. But nah, it's something bigger than that. This person has been deliberately avoiding you, Scorpio, because there's something that they don't want to face. They can't stand in front of you and lie straight to your face, because they know you'll see right through it too. You know, they know you'll be able to read them. And even the guilt of what they are doing, they can't face you. Somebody is going to have to give you an apology, or somebody is owed an apology in the very near future, with this Page of Cups being here. And again, if this is not your message, if it don't apply, let it fly. Send it up with the balloons, Scorpio. Send it up into the air with the balloons. If it ain't for you, share it with somebody that, you know, this might be impacting them. This might be their life, who is a fellow Scorpio. Or check out your rising and moon as well as Venus sign to see what's going on. But for this message here, for my Scorpio collective, somebody's world is turned upside down by a discovery of betrayal that causes some like, yo, I would have never did that to you. Like, damn, tell me how you really feel, right? And again, I would maybe look in the direction of whomever has been putting some distance between you and them, or you used to spend a lot of time talking to them, but you haven't talked to them in a little while. You're being advised to maybe reach out. The Eight of Wands sits in your advice section. So that's advising you to maybe send a message. That's communication, talk, reach out. Oh, how you doing? I ain't heard from you in a little while. And in that conversation, something is revealed. They can't even hold it, because whatever is going on is heavy. And this person is in the wrong, and they know it. And they just cannot face you, Scorpio. So maybe you might want to reach out and find out what's going on with your friend and or a loved one who you haven't heard from in a little while. Because in the environment section, you have the Seven of Cups. You might be a little confused about where y'all relationship currently sits. You think everything is all good, but it's not. Or vice versa. You believe there is something up, and you're being advised to have a conversation. Reach out and find out. Speak to it. Say that difficult thing, right? Because the sooner that it is said, the quicker you can grow from it, Scorpio, right? Because whatever this is, it's going to cause some words, some heated words to be exchanged, and you kind of suspect it already with this Five of Swords sitting in your hopes and fears, right? You're hoping that the reason for the distance that this person has been putting between you and them has not been anything of a foul nature. But unfortunately, you might learn a lesson about trusting your gut a little bit sooner, Scorpio, right? And as a result, you may find yourself pouring more into work because you discover someone or something that hurts you, that you don't want to really deal with it in that moment. You know what I mean? You discover it, right? And you find out what's going on, but you don't deal with it in that moment. We have all done that in some capacity or another, where something devastating happens, but it's not the time. Like, when is it ever, right? But it's like, this is not the time for anything chaotic to be happening in my world, because I have other important things going on that I need to lend my time and energy to. I do not have the time to pour into this thing. But so you put it on the shelf, for lack of better terms. You like, all right, I'm aware, I'll deal with that later. And it allows you to drive home maybe another project, or pour into another project, or stand up another project, or get the foundation of another project going, at least, so that you can then deal with whatever this thing is from an effective standpoint. Not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Really addressing it and asking all the tough questions. No, turn your phone off. We're going to have a conversation about this. If it takes hours, if it takes days, we're going to get through this. But you don't do that until you're able to get something else situated and a foundation laid in another area of your life, Scorpio, so that you can lend to really addressing this thing, and or people that might have done you dirty or done some shady, nasty, vile things to you that come to light. It's just when and how they come to light. The timing of it is not appropriate, or my Scorpio collective doesn't initially react the way that someone might suspect, right? There's a slow burn to the blow up. Oh, but the blow up is there, and there's some furniture moving. There might be a delayed reaction to what somebody even says to you. You might be like, hold the I know this motherfucker didn't say, and you spin the block and you come back around, right? Whether it is figuratively or literally, you pull up on somebody, you revisit a conversation, whatever the case may be. Something happens where you like, I'm gonna come back to that. Don't you worry. You sit right there. I'm gonna deal with you. I will be back, and when I get back, it's gonna be all the way dealt with. Yeah. So yeah, that is what you have going on for the month of December, Scorpio. Let's move on to my Sagittarius. Sagittarius, it is your season. Happy birthday, Sag. Let's see what your birthday month, or part of your birthday month, has in store for my Sag collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do my Sagittarius need to know as it relates to the month of December? What's coming in December for the Sag? I am collecting topics as suggestions. So go ahead, drop something in the comments that you want me to tap in on. I will consult with my tarot deck and break down the message, but give me some suggestions. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for my Sagittarius collective. What do you have? Why do I feel like some cards flipped? Nope, we good. Okay. I hope all is well with you guys. For my Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, what do they need to know for the month of December? Two more cards, please, Spirit. One more card for my Sagittarius. One more. There we go. All right, Sag. Let's get up into your message. So, for my Sagittarius, at the heart of your spread, you receive the Queen of Swords, crossed by the King of Swords. At the root of your spread, you have the Five of Coins in reverse. At the crown, you have the Six of Cups. In the recent past, you have the Eight of Swords. In the near future, you have Justice. In your advice section, you have the Six of Swords. In your environment, you have the Seven of Wands. In your hopes and fears, you have the Page of Coins. And in your outcome, you have the Moon. All right, Sag. So with the Queen of Swords at the heart of your spread, crossed by the King of Swords, this is, I got right away, I don't know why this came to me, but why so serious, Grace? Like very serious. I'm picking up on a very serious Sagittarius collective, like. And when I say serious, meaning like the sense of humor and the sense of ha ha he he, it ain't too much of that there. It's all business with my Sag. Like you come in for everything that you might have felt as though you might have lost in a couple of months. You need to recoup some money. You feel like, oh, I need to get my money in order. Like, and you're gonna be returned something that was taken from you, or not taken, but something that you struggled to get financially. You know how they say you take 3 steps forward to take 5 steps back? This is, oh no, I'm taking 8 steps forward and 8 more steps forward after that for my Sag. Every move, every interaction, everything for my Sag right now, it has to be worth it. It has to be worth it. My Sagittarius are not playing as it relates to their money, their time, their energy. They're being very, very intentional and strategic about where they lend money, time, and energy. Money, time, and energy, you almost have three very specific buckets set up. Like, where's my money, time, and energy going? And I need to maybe revisit how I spend my money, time, and energy and reformat and maybe pull back in some areas and add to in others. But with the Six of Cups being at the crown of your spread, you are okay with how you used to operate in those areas, and you enjoyed it. You're proud of yourself for what you've accomplished, and you are taking stock of the people that have helped you along the way and who have been alongside you on this journey, Sag. But there's a sense of acceptance inside of you to know that, that was the past. And the past is the past. I'm cool off the past because I can't unsee and not know what I know now. Like with this Eight of Swords being in your recent past, you operated from the position that you knew how to at the time in the past. But now you've gained a certain sight, wisdom, experience even, that will not allow you to operate from a position of lack, less than, or doubt. You know what you know now. And because you know what you know, with this King of Swords, Queen of Swords at the heart and cross of your spread, it's creating a certain amount of stealth and iciness with you, Sag. So be aware of that. Like, yes, the business needs to be handled, right? And maybe you might have felt like in the past you were too nice, you were too soft, you were too giving, and you like, I'm not doing that no more. So you're doing a complete 180, right? And from one extreme to the next, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are achieving what you set out to do, Sag. Like, just be mindful of your balance and that temperance that you need to maintain. But right now, it's all business and ice cold for my Sagittarius collective. You are going into your birthday season real aware of who you are, what you want, what you expect, and everybody around you seem to know it too. Like, oh, okay, when we get with Sag, we have to make sure we have all the plans laid out. Everything is ready to go. There's no room for wasting of time and energy. If we say that the event is starting at 8, we need to start at 8, because Sag is not playing with us, right? As it relates to being on time, because you are in the near future going to create a certain amount of balance that doesn't quite look like your normal easy breezy, happy-go-lucky energy, Sag. Now it's more so you got all of the affairs in order and you want to know who's at the door. You need to know all the details. It's not as airy anymore, your energy. And this is not a bad place to work from, this Justice card being in your near future, because you set some things straight. You get what is due and owed to you by way of you requesting it, calling it out, demanding, delegating, setting up what and stating what you expect from one person to the next. Now there will be no question around what time dinner starts, because the Sag put it in writing. They said it out loud, as well as sending smoke signals. My Sag is crossing their T's, dotting their I's, and making sure everybody understands where they coming from. You heard what they said. You was there when they said it. And don't play about acting confused with them, acting like you don't understand. Because they will quickly exit stage left, or the advice that is being provided to you for the month of December, Sag, is to move on. Kick up the deuces. If they don't understand, they don't get it, they don't need to. It's not for them. You know the plan. You know what you want to do. You don't have to explain everything to everybody. You know what I mean? This is not 10th grade math where you have to show your work. If the answer that you get is right, is right. I don't got to show my math. Catch me in traffic. Yeah, because you ready to depart and exit conversations and environments that don't serve you, that don't produce some level of progress. If it don't produce progress, if it ain't making no money, if the conversation is not productive, Sag is like, miss me with that. I don't have time for it. Or you are being advised to stop having as much wasted conversation and wasted time and energy, Sag. And if you have not already been thinking about it, you are. You're going to start looking at where you put your time. If you spend a lot of time scrolling on social media, you might take a look at the data that's given to you, right? You know how they tell you how much screen time you've appropriated over a certain amount of time and where it's gone. Like you spend this amount of hours on Facebook, you spend this amount of hours on Instagram, you spend this amount of hours on YouTube. So you're really going to be assessing where you spend your time and saying, nope, those things don't lend to progress. I could be doing something else with that time. I could be learning a skill, and you start to put in place some boundaries. Even if it's not social media, if it's people that you've been spending time with that's just been wasteful. You know, you could be spending hours on the phone talking to people about nothing, just catching up, but you do that often, and you spend hours on the phone, and you say, no, I'm not going to do as much of that, because right now, for where my life is, I need to be pouring my time and energy into this. You know, it was all good for the time that you were doing it and you were able to do it, but that time is no more, and you know it's no more, because you're starting to be squeezed and pushed and prompted in different ways that's making you a bit uncomfortable, right? But your hopes and fears is represented by the Page of Coins, which is a new era of lesson and learning, right? It's learning something new. It's learning something new as it relates to your legacy, how you create and build and move closer to that goal of legacy. You know what I mean? You take stock of where you currently are, and you know, you're like, wait a minute, I'm not as far along down this journey as I would like to have been. So I'm going to start reinvesting and refining my time, energy, money, and things like that into more productive things. Yeah, because for the outcome for the month of December is the moon. The moon creates shadows and makes things hidden, right? You know it's there. You can see it, but not clearly. So I'm picking up on a Sagittarius collective where people will be looking for you. People, and you'll be there. You'll be off in the distance, but you're going to be off in the distance with a pen and paper writing things down, looking things up, doing some research, not necessarily dedicating your time, energy to the rest of the group and what they're doing. If they're casually just talking and you know, not really having a topic per se that they are driving in one direction or another, it's just casual conversation, and my Sag might be there physically in the room, but mentally their mind is elsewhere. They're thinking about their future. They're thinking about projects that they have on the horizon that they're excited to start. Yeah, so, you know, good job, Sagittarius. What I will say, like I said, with the Queen of Swords at the heart of your spread, crossed by that King of Swords, just be mindful not to be too icy. And, you know, be aware of maybe your faces, your demeanor, Sag, for your loved ones and how you come across, because they might be like, Sag don't want to be bothered. They're being mean and you haven't even said anything. It's just maybe your energy that you're giving off is very detached, right? And people are creating their own narrative around why you are detached. So be mindful of that, Sag, and maybe drop a smile here and there if you find yourself drifting off too much while amongst your loved ones. All right, we are moving on to Capricorn. Capricorn, my sea goats. What do you guys need to know for the month of December, which you share a birthday with my Sag? So happy birthday, Cappies. Happy birthday, Capricorn. For those of you who have December birthdays that are Capricorn. My bestie, her birthday is in December, and she's a Capricorn. So shout out to my best friend. Happy birthday, girl. But let's see what's going on in the month of December for my Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Yes, yes. No stress. We only here to impress. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do you have going on in the month of December? What is it looking like for my Capricorn collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do my Capricorns have going on in their season? Capricorn, I don't do cards that fall on the floor, but we'll shuffle it back in. Two more cards, please, for my Capricorns. One more card. All right, Capricorn, let's get up into your message. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So at the heart of your spread, Capricorn, you receive the Queen of Swords, crossed by the Five of Cups. At the root of your spread, you have the Empress, right? At the crown of your spread, you have the Devil. In the recent past, you have the King of Cups. In the near future, you have the Nine of Wands. In the advice section, you have the Hermit in reverse. In your environment, you have Temperance. Excuse me, Capricorn. And your hopes and fears, it is represented by the Emperor. And the outcome for the month of December is the Three of Cups. So it looks like we have some emotional things going on with my Capricorns. Oh, Capricorns, I'm picking up you guys are a little sad about something as it relates to maybe a loss that you experience. And my condolences go out to you. You are working through and struggling with dealing with the loss with this Queen of Swords at the center of your spread, crossed by the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is loss, regret, the loss of a loved one, being disappointed greatly at the heart. Your heart is just hurting and aching, right? And that is your challenge right now. And at the root of your spread, you have the Empress in reverse. So that's why I said my condolences go out to you, because the Empress is a mother, parental, or a matriarch or patriarch figure, but it's in reverse. So they may no longer be here on this earthly plane with us currently, Capricorn, and it's causing you some emotional anguish that you might not be wanting to share, or you don't want to wear your heart on your sleeve. You know, you just want to be like, it is what it is. You understand that life, a part of life is death, right? But you do miss this person. It's one of those things where your emotions are there, but not the way that most people would expect them to be. You're not boohoo crying, rolling on the floor, Capricorn, but you are aware that this presence not being here anymore and how impactful it has been to your life, right? So in the recent past, you have this King of Cups sitting here. This person or whoever this is, and again, if this is not your message, do not force it, right? If it don't apply, let it fly. If this person who is no longer with us, they had a very significant impact to who you are as a person, Capricorn, with this King of Cups being in the recent past. This person helped shape how you think, how you love, how you behave, all of that. And if this person is no longer a part of your life, it can be very difficult for you to manage right now during the holiday season and not having them. And it may cause you to overindulge a little bit too much with this devil being at the crown of your spread, Capricorn. Now, the devil is your major arcana, but it also represents sex, drugs, and alcohol. So just be careful of not going too hard in the paint, trying to avoid and escape dealing with your heart center, Capricorn. I will say, because the emotional aspect of your life has been rough, right? You've suffered a few wounds, traumas, and you even got some triggers as a result, with this Nine of Wands being in your near future. But that Nine of Wands, though you see him in a wheelchair, he bloody, bruised, and just beat down. He done been through the fire, right? But he's still standing. He got that bat in his lap. He's prepared to do what's necessary for the next battle, right? So there's a certain amount of resilience that is being built up inside of you, Capricorn. You know what I mean? Through these losses and or loss that you've taken in maybe the year of 2025, right? So it's looking like December for my Capricorn collective might be a little heavy. And I don't want you guys digging into the bottle, going too hard, having fun during the holiday season. Just be mindful of your emotional state and how it ties to your recreational use of whatever it is you might want to overindulge in to avoid dealing with your heart, right? It don't necessarily have to be alcohol. It could be food, it could be sex, it could be a lot of different things that you use to trick yourself out of having to face something. And you're being advised with this Hermit card in reverse in your advice section to get out and about, be amongst friends and family, despite maybe not wanting to. Capricorn, force yourself to do it. It feels like you're gonna have to, with the Hermit being in reverse. So this is when the Hermit is in reverse, this can be considered paranoid energy. Like you're paranoid that people are looking at you, talking about you, and you may not want to go and be amongst people. But with it being in your advice section in reverse, it's telling you, no, go and sit amongst those tables where you maybe much rather went home, closed the blinds and turned off all the lights and been by yourself. Don't isolate. Do not isolate, Capricorn. Go be around people, right? And find a healthy way to escape some of this sadness, right? Because, you very well might, might could be a person, an actual person, a water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, that helps you, get over some of these emotional hurts. But don't overdo it. Don't romanticize a situation or relationship right now, Capricorn. Right now, this season, right now, you just need to be out and about, going down memory lane, spending as much time around the people that really know you and love you, Capricorn, so they can pour into you. Make those the outlets and the distractions that you go forth and towards in the month of December, because your environment is represented by Temperance, right? So you are going to seek out and receive some form of balance and harmony and calmness around your environment, because the people around you understand what you need. They just understand what you need, whether it be to just allow you to talk and vent and cry, or they become a comedian to make you laugh until you cry. The people around you, your people, Capricorn, are going to be your saving grace in the month of December, even despite you maybe not feeling like wanting to be around people, right? With this Emperor being in your hopes and fears, you feel as though you may not be good company to other people, but trust and believe the people around you ain't paying you no mind. That rough, rigid exterior you may put out there, Capricorn, your people know. We just gonna rub up on Capricorn. They gonna smooth it out a little bit. They gonna be laughing in a minute. We just need to rub up on them a little bit, and they'll be giggly. Just give them a minute to thaw out. That's what I'm picking up on. Like, you may fear that you are not good company, but you are. You are good company. You are actually maybe the predecessor of that family member. I'm sorry, not predecessor, the successor to that family member that is no longer with us. And that's fearful to you a little bit, Capricorn, having to take the reins and step into a position of leadership and power and just direction. It may scare you a little bit, but your people who know you, they're not impacted by maybe your rough exterior, I'm getting resting bitch face, right? Like someone who has an amazing resting bitch face. But behind that resting bitch face, the people that love you, know you, your friends and family, they know. Like, just let Capricorn sit in the corner for a minute. Get her or get him something to eat or something to drink. They'll be all right in a minute, right? Because at the outcome of your spread, you have the Three of Cups. It's merriment. Raise a glass. And this Three of Cups is fun with your squad, your people, the people that know you the best, that are not easily offended by how you may initially come off, right? Remember, I said my bestie is a Capricorn. So, and my dad is a Capricorn as well. So Capricorns as a default are very serious. They can be very serious, but they are some of the funniest people. If you spend like 5 minutes talking to them, picking their brain, you'll be like, oh my goodness, I would have never guessed by way of looking at that Capricorn in first sight that they were that funny, right? So, just spend time with the people that know you the best, and don't worry about whether or not you're good company to them, or you have to be the center of attention, or the hostess with the mostest. I might be picking up on a Capricorn is like, I'm worried about having to be lights, camera, action, on go all the time. You don't have to worry about that. Come as you are, Capricorn. If you want to come to Thanksgiving dinner in your pajamas, nobody's going to trip about it. Nobody's going to say anything. Nobody's going to have any qualms about it. They going to go about their business, not even thinking about you, Capricorn, more so than we're glad that Capricorn is here in their pajamas. Now give us something to talk about around the table, right? So just don't worry about maybe how you feel like you have to show up or behave or present. You don't have to worry about that. Just show up, Capricorn. Just show up and let the people say surprise. And when it happens, you might not smile right away. And again, I'm just making up this scenario where a surprise party goes down and my Capricorn doesn't necessarily smile, but the people still usher you through the door, and as the party goes on, the next thing you know, you see Capricorn on the dance floor dancing it up. But how they started was y'all saying surprise, I told you not to throw me no party. But by the end of the night, Capricorn is having the time of their life. So that is your message, Capricorn. And we are going to move on to Aquarius. What's up, Aqua gang? Aqua. Let's see what you guys have going on for the month of December. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Where my Aquarius at? Really want to shuffle up this deck because I've only used one deck. No clarifiers. Don't want the cards to start becoming repetitive. So just bear with me as I do a good shuffle and shake on the cards. All right. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's see what the month of December has for you. Again, welcome to the channel, to my new viewers. Welcome back to those who are returning viewers. I am aTone. This is aTone Tarot. And you are tuned in for an all signs energy check-in for the month of December. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is going on in the month of December? that one really slid up underneath. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for my Aquarius collective. What's going on in the month of December? Two more cards, please. One more card for my Aquarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. All right, Aquarius, let's get up into it. So at the heart of your spread, Aquarius, you have Judgment crossed by the Ten of Swords. At the root of your spread, you have the Two of Coins. At the crown of your spread, you have the Fool. In the recent past, you have the Queen of Swords. In the near future, you have the Knight of Coins in reverse. In the advice section, you have the Eight of Swords. In the environment section, you have the Tower. In your hopes and fears, you have the Nine of Cups in reverse. And in the outcome for the month of December, you have the Eight of Wands. All right, Aquarius. So it looks like with the heart of the spread being represented by Judgment, something or someone gets called to do something, right, that is important, and it may cause an issue with someone else, right? Like you may be called to not take someone's job, but take on someone's responsibility. Do something that is not considered in like the most integral thing, Aquarius. You may have to do some or keep something to yourself that you don't want to. Like you may have information that impacts some people that you care around you negatively, but you can't say anything because it'll impact your coin. So a judgment or a determination has been made that you are made aware of, Aquarius, that you might have to keep to yourself. It is not for you to speak on, and you know, you have to keep quiet about something that may have a negative impact on some people around you, because you can't say anything. It's not for you to say. It might not be your business to tell. It may be a disclaimer or some type of paperwork that you signed, or it's understood that you are not to repeat this information. Because if you do, it will have an impact to your money with this Two of Coins at the root of your spread. And with the Queen of Swords being in your recent past, you were positioned in a particular conversation where someone gave you some information that they felt like they could trust you with it, right? Like, all right, we need to give Aquarius this information because not only can we trust them with the information, we know that Aquarius will know how to fix, correct, move something forward. So you're entrusted with the responsibility of whether it be information, a project, I don't know what it is. You know what it is, Aquarius. And again, if this isn't your message, you know, check out your rising sign, your Venus and or moon. right? But I'm really picking up on an Aquarius collective, because the Queen of Swords is your court card, Aquarius. So you were just doing you, and you was in a conversation where somebody gave you some information, and you like, oh shucks, this is going to have a negative impact to some people around me that I care about. But if I tell them, it's going to impact my money. So I need to keep my mouth shut. So, and it may be bothering you a little bit because you're now concerned about the journey and how all this is going to unfold. Who is going to be on the path with you moving into 2026? You may be the leader of a team, and you know, moving into 2026 that some layoffs, some cuts are coming, and some people that you think are pretty decent individuals are getting the axe, right? There's nothing you could do about it. There's nothing you could do about it with the Knight of Coins being in reverse. You're not in position. You don't have the authority to change this one way or the other. So why should you say anything? You know what I mean? Because you saying something could ultimately result in a tower moment for you, Aquarius. So you are being advised with this Eight of Swords to mind the business that pays you. Because the Eight of Swords is someone who feels trapped, and you know, she has a blindfold on in the traditional depiction of the Eight of Swords, and she's surrounded by 8 swords. So she does not see all of the resources behind her, and she's kind of like blindsided by information, right? But with this being in the advice section, it's saying hold your peace, keep your mouth shut, Aquarius, and just mind the business that pays you. Because speaking to something ultimately, and you know it's going to create a tower moment. With the tower being in the environment, it's going to create a tower or chaos or issue or something to break down for other people around you. Yeah, and you're concerned about that. Like your loyalty, right? Maybe wanting you to speak on something, but your obligation as it relates to how you get your money binds you to be silent, and it bothers you a little bit, right? So you got this Eight of Swords in your advice section. You're being advised to just be quiet, because you have the Eight of Wands as the outcome. Now, I don't know if this is you or someone else, but if the Eight of Swords is in the advice section advising you not to say anything and just restrict your amount of communication, and then you have the Eight of Wands as an outcome, which is communication, that means someone else is going to speak to it. You're not going to have to. An announcement is going to be made soon enough where the people that need to know and that are impacted will be made aware by way of the people who need to deliver the message. But it's not you. Don't die on that hill, if you will, Aquarius. Pick your battles, because with the Nine of Cups being in reverse in your hopes and fears, you could inadvertently cause issue to your happily ever after, Aquarius. So this message is definitely giving worry about yourself. Worry about yourself, because whoever is impacted by this tower moment, they will get what they need as it relates to a lesson, resources. Don't step on someone else's path. Do not step in front of the bullet, Aquarius. Do not take it upon yourself to make the announcement, because the outcome for the month of December is that an announcement will be made with this Eight of Wands. That's quick communication. Quickly, something changes for some people around you, and there's nothing you could have done about it one way or the other. Aquarius, with this Knight of Coins being in reverse, you do not hold the authority to deliver this message, so keep it to yourself. Worry about the business that pays you with this Two of Coins at the root of your spread, because your journey, your path, Aquarius, is glimmering. It's hopeful. It looks beautiful. You know what I mean? And do not interfere with the progression of that journey, Aquarius, by way of wanting to be the savior of others. I had to learn this myself, and I am Aquarius, so this message is for me as well. I had to learn this, that sometimes you see people around you that you care about going through these tower or difficult moments, and you feel the need to step in and save the day and assist and be the knight on the horse for your loved ones. And the Almighty says, no, that is not what I want you to do. This issue and problem that this person is going through has been set in motion for them to learn something, for them to gain something, for them to be positioned where they need to be positioned for the next stage and phase of their life. Do not worry and try to play the savior, Aquarius, of another, because you might inadvertently be blocking your own blessings that you've been praying for and manifesting for a while. Don't do it. And you know it. With this Nine of Cups being in reverse, sitting in your hopes and fears, you'll know exactly what this thing is that I'm talking about, where you're sitting there like, should I say something? If this person finds out that I knew this and I didn't say anything, it may interfere with how they... Don't worry about it, because the timing also of when the other party and or parties need to receive the information is also relative in this message. You giving it to them too soon could set in motion an even bigger issue for parties involved. So you could be making something worse. When your intent is to assist, you just make matters worse by sharing information or giving out details that are not for you to do, Aquarius. Just think about, like, if it's not your business to tell, don't tell it, right? And trust that what is supposed to be revealed will be revealed in its appropriate time with this Eight of Wands at the outcome of your spread, and everybody and everything will be all right. And nobody's going to hold against you what information you might have had and had to help hold on to for the sake of how everything needs to play out. Yes. Yeah, because with Judgment being at the heart of the spread, crossed by the Ten of Swords, you and or someone else, and you can reverse this too. Like, this may be going on with you where someone around you has information that they cannot give you right now, Aquarius, and you're being advised to not hold it against them and understand where they sat at the time in the situation. They couldn't give you the information, so you may feel as though they betrayed you, or it's a betrayal to you because they didn't alert you to something sooner. But just know the timing of when you receive the message is relative to the progression of what comes next, right? So just know that everything happens for a reason and in its appropriate time. All right, Aquarius, that is your message for the month of December. Drop something in the comments. Let me know what that is about, Aquarius. Maybe in January, circle back to this reading and let me know what you can finally speak on. If it's something you're aware of currently that you had to hold and keep close to the vest. All right. Last but certainly not least, let's give it up for my Pisces. Let's see what's going on with my spicy Pisces in the month of December. What do they need to be aware of? Let's do an energy check-in for my spicy Pisces for the month of December. And one more time for the grind. If you haven't done so already, please smash that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Your girl would greatly appreciate it. All right, Pisces, let's get up into it. Let's see what the month of December has for my Pisces collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's get up into it, Pisces. 10 cards, please, Spirit, for my Pisces collective. What do we have? Two more cards, please, for my Pisces collective. One more card for the month of December. All right, Pisces. Let's get up into your message. So, at the heart of your spread, you have the Empress, crossed by the Five of Wands. At the root of your spread, you have the Lovers in reverse. At the crown of your spread, you have the Ten of Cups. In the recent past, you have the Page of Coins. In the near future, you have Temperance. In your advice section, you have the Three of Swords. In your environment, you have the High Priestess. Your hopes and fears is represented by the Four of Swords. And the outcome for the month of December is the Five of Coins. So as it relates to your message, Pisces, it really feels like it's a couple of things going on. I have a couple of messages for a few different narratives here. So just bear with me. At the heart of your spread, you have the Empress crossed by the Five of Wands. I'm picking up on a mother-daughter relationship that is strained and challenged right now. I'm picking up on a Pisces collective who may be going through it with a young daughter, right? They're being defiant. They're not listening to you. They're talking back, Pisces, or you are having a challenge with a mother figure where you're questioning some things, where a mother wants you to just do as I say, not as I do type thing. If I say it, that's what it is. And you like, no, that ain't what it is. Because I don't remember it being that way. So I'm getting some challenging mother, daughter, or even son to mother relationships. This is definitely mother as the parental figure, with the Empress being at the heart of the spread, and some challenging conversations going on between this child and or mother, or you could just be having some challenges with your children to some degree, Pisces. But that is what I'm picking up on for some of you. In the recent past, you have the Page of Coins. You really learned a lot about yourself, Pisces, in this year, what you're made of, what you will and can endure, as well as how to go through a storm with a certain amount of calmness. Maybe you didn't start off that way, like you are more of a panicked type of person, but now when a storm comes, you know how to not react so anxiously, if you will, right? You have this Lovers in reverse at the root of your spread, and then the 10 of Cups at the crown. That is giving someone, a Pisces, who wants everybody to believe that their family life is cool and good, but truly no, it's not. Somebody has or is doing something that is not so favorable, loyal. It doesn't really fare too well. The picture or the narrative that this Pisces would like to have everyone believe is that they are in a 10 of Cups situation. Their household and family is not perfect, but happy. We're happy over here. We're good over here. And might be some issues going on behind the scene with this Pisces collective that either they are not fully being honest with themselves about, or they just don't want other people outside of their household to know. They're being deceptive in how they show up in the world in relation to what they want people to believe as it relates to what's going on at home. And again, if you got traumas and issues and stuff going on, you don't want people to know all the time. So you might have your poker face up and out, Pisces. Ain't nothing wrong with that, because when people can see your struggle and emotions on your face, it can create the invitation to certain conversations that you just may not want to have. Right? So you're like, look, I don't feel like talking about that. I don't want nobody to know that I got this going on in my background with my significant other and or family. So I'm just going to promote a happy life just for the sake of avoiding certain conversations that you just don't want to have because you feel like it ain't none of nobody's business. It's your business. Manage it how you will, Pisces. Amen. Whatever keeps your fish balanced and swimming in a nice harmonious way. You do what you got to do, and you are going to do what you have to do to create a certain amount of harmony, balance, coolness, and serenity in your world. You know and understand the psychological safety that you need despite maybe the chaos and the I don't want to say chaos, but betrayal of another, right? It's hurtful. Somebody hurt you deeply, right? And you got the 3 of Swords in your advice section. With the 3 of Swords being in your advice section, that's almost like 2 can play that game. If somebody cheated on you, lied to you, broke your heart in any way, Pisces, and maybe you have cried and pleaded with this person, you've asked them to understand your position, you've written it down, you've provided certain suggestions, you've done everything in your power to show this person how you feel to get them to correct course on how they're behaving with you, and they haven't done so. The advice is you can show them better than you can tell them. Now, again, I ain't advising nobody go out here and cheat on nobody. That's not what aTone Tarot is about. That's not what I'm saying. However, with this Three of Swords being in the advice section, from me to you, I'm going to tell you, Pisces, sometimes you have to show people better than you can tell them. And that might mean being unavailable, not answering the phone when somebody calls. You know, creating a certain sense of suspicion, if you will. You create and plant a seed of doubt in someone else's mind so that they can understand how it feels. Because your environment is saying, with the High Priestess being here, and this is your major arcana, Pisces, you intuitively know. You intuitively know what is going on, what needs to be done. You almost just flow naturally into it, and intuitively you'll be able to rectify whatever is wrong. Whoever is wrong you, they might even volunteer the information because you create now a seed of doubt. You plant a seed, right? So this is given, if somebody knows that they're doing wrong, right? Like, you know, you're cheating on somebody, you probably are always on guard. You're always worried about whether or not Pisces has caught you. You're like, wait, did they catch me? Because they acting different. They're behaving differently. So now, because you've changed your behaviors, Pisces, you got somebody worried about what secrets you're keeping. They like, oh, shucks, Pisces is not acting the same way. Maybe they are aware of what I did. I don't know. Because slowly but surely, I'm picking up on a Pisces collective who starts to pull back their energy from a particular person, and they pour it into themselves, giving themselves time, space, energy to just rest and allow their spiritual, intuitive sense to catch up to what's going on in reality. That's what I'm picking up on. Like, I'm sensing this is a Pisces collective who just knows things before they happen without having evidence or hardcore facts around it, right? But you know, like, all right, my intuition don't ever lead me wrong. I'ma just wait for the moment that the evidence shows up. Yeah, because that is what happens or unfolds in the month of December. And when that evidence shows up, it may create a loss for someone, whether it be the loss of residency with someone. I'm picking up on someone deciding to separate and relocate from another. Like, we live together and now we're not going to live together in January 2026. I just need the rest of this month to get my money and myself together to go find somewhere else to live. There's a separation or a loss of something tangible as it relates to the unfolding of whatever this is. And going back to, like, my original message around the Pisces collective who are having challenging issues with their children, you may have to spend some money on your kids in a way that is like, man, damn. Like, whether it be for, I don't know, a lawyer, a psychologist, some type of added resource that you have to supply your child with. Maybe even a car. Like, I'm picking up on somebody's car being down and having to get their car fixed. I don't know where that came from, but you know, if it don't apply, let it fly. But for my Pisces collective, at the end of December, you may find yourself financially strapped because of what you have to pour into by way of fixing something that you want to keep polished and pretty at surface level, if that makes sense. I don't know why, but I'm picking up on a Pisces collective who is spending money to keep up with the Joneses type energy is going on here. And you don't have to do that, Pisces. With this Lovers being in reverse, turn that loser loose, right? Really give some energy and thought to what that looks like. And I think you will be able to do that better if you give yourself some rest with this Four of Swords being here. And this set in your hope and fears. The hopes and fears is represented by this Four of Swords. And that is you being afraid of stopping and sitting down and resting. You not wanting to do that because you know if you stop, you know if you rest, you know if you sit still for a certain period of time, your intuition and all of these things that are true, that are not necessarily so favorable going on with your household or significant other, it could hurt you in such a way that you do not necessarily want to deal with. Yeah, you may be avoiding it, but giving yourself this time to rest in on the heels of receiving something that is some news that is hurtful to you, Pisces, is necessary for you to be able to close out this chapter and progress with some level of momentum, right? We all go through stages and phases of disruption, being uncomfortable, taking some losses, right, throughout life. And when we take those losses and we're in those uncomfortable positions, a lesson is learned. You're positioned in such a way where you can reflect, review, understand, and know what to do as far as moving forward. And yes, take your time to rest and feel what is going on, process it, digest it, but don't stay stuck there. Do not stay stuck, Pisces, because this is only for right now. And again, I'm going to leave you and the entire collective with this final message. Lift with your knees and check me out as I break down the remainder of December for each sign. That is your message. I hope that it helps. And until next time, everyone, peace.